Man, we should put Barack Obama on trial. Now, of course, I'm not talking about a legitimate criminal trial, but what I'm talking about is he's inciting violence. He's inciting riots. It was interesting because on last Saturday when the verdict came down, it was 10 o'clock at night. I almost, maybe possibly that was done on purpose. I'm just saying. I have no proof of that, but the verdict comes out later at night. So it's very, very minimal rioting, so it looked like it was going to be okay. The next day there was a little bit, it was like California and Oakland, of course. Oakland riots when like California wins any kind of major pro, team wins anything, and also when something bad happens. So they just like to riot. They're just pointless punks basically out there on the streets in Oakland, California. So, and then New York, it was kind of sporadic, And now that a week has gone by, right? I guess that was what, the 13th, today's 19th, okay? So now that a week has gone by, the liberals and the anti-U.S. people and the people who just love to hate have had the chance to get organized. And your Reverend Al Sharptons and your Jesse Jackson, reverends, first of all, are you kidding me? A reverend of what? Hate? Division? Trouble? Pain? Anger? Reverend. A reverend my butt. So now they've all had time to organize and come together. And now tomorrow we have riots, riots. What's wrong with me? Protests. Yes, I'm sure they're going to be very peaceful, nice protests in 100 cities across the country. Now, amazingly, it took about 7 days to get this organized now, didn't it? Because they didn't know what the verdict was going to be. And Barack Obama decides to come out today, of all time, and start talking all his little stuff again with his little chip on his shoulder against the white man. I can't believe that we elected a racist for president. Yeah, I just said it. Barack Obama is a racist. He seems to have this big issue with Caucasian white people. Now, I understand about the ancestors. Now, I understand. You know what? It's time to let it go. You cannot tell me that is alive and well today. Sure, you got some kook nuts in the small, towns somewhere that still might be racist, but corporate racism? Where? I'm working in the corporate world for years and years and years. I don't see it. College racism? Is it in college? What? African Americans can't get into college? What's college? Nope, didn't find that either. Nope. Let's see. I know. When a black person and a white person goes into a store, the black person doesn't get helped unless they go to their own line. No, that doesn't happen either. There's a national syndicated show I'm listening to on the radio today, and 47-year-old African-American man calls into the show, and he agrees with the verdict, and he was having this conversation with the show host, and it was amazing. I mean, I could have reached through the radio and hugged the guy. I mean, not just because he believed that Zimmerman wasn't guilty, but he was going a whole lot deeper than that. And the talk show host was asking him, because this guy's from Mobile, Alabama. Okay? Mobile, Alabama. And before that, he was in Mississippi. An African-American black man in Alabama and Mississippi. Been there his whole life, he said, in Mobile. Outside of a little bit of time in Mississippi. And so the talk show host said to him, so, I can imagine you've seen a lot. You know what it's like to experience real racism. And the guy said, no, actually, I haven't. He said, I've never had a problem with a white person growing up at all down here. But he said the way the media puts it and the way Obama makes it sound and Eric Holder and Sharpton and Jackson and all these nuts make it look, they want you to think that racism is alive and well. They need racism. They want it. They want that division. Because it serves two purposes. One, it gets the African Americans staying with the Democratic Party. Right? So that secures votes for the Democratic Party. So it's about power. But I think there's a satanic thing going on here too. Yeah, I said it was satanic. I think there's an evil element to all of this. They are taking a standard self-defense situation. Remember, Zimmerman, broken nose, cuts, scrapes. Come on. He didn't do it to himself, people. And I'm still hearing African Americans today. Well, if he hadn't got out of the car and listened to the person on the... Shut up. He was asked if he was following him. He said, yes, so I can give you a location. They told him to stop following him. And you can hear on the 911 tape, Zimmerman stopped following him. Stop trying to make this into something that it's not. It's really starting to piss me off. You got people trying to divide this country. We're trying to heal as a nation. And any of you people out there that want to automatically assume I'm a racist, well, like I said, go ahead. I've heard it all. But before you do that, you might want to check out a video that a friend of mine and I put together called Actions Speak Louder Than Words, right here on this channel. It's about helping the Sudan and what's going on down there. Unbelievable what's going on down there. George Clooney only talks about a little bit of it. Well, we put a real powerful video together with a song and moving pictures. I mean, just very powerful about helping the people down there. And you know what? I got to point out to you that they're African American. See, it doesn't matter to me. I work with African Americans. I live next door to African Americans. I don't care. I don't even think about, I don't even look at color. I don't even, who really thinks of that anymore? Who even thinks about that anymore? My cat is black and white, for crying out loud. Just saying. But come on, really? But you got Obama and Holder and Jackson and Sharpton and these left-wing radical liberal people from the Democratic Party out there trying to stir up racism, trying to turn the situation into something that it's not. How does a president of the United States of America get on television and clearly talk in such a way that's going to inflame African Americans? How do you do that? This is the guy that we put in office? This is the respect for the United States of America that the office represents? Really? I mean, this started way, way back. Remember Eric Holder? He wasn't going to prosecute. Oh, no, no, no. Black Panther Party? Scaring people at the polls? Remember the first time around? Standing outside polling stations and scaring away white people? Because the white people might vote for, McCain? And then Romney? But no, we can't have any charges against that person. Against the Black Panthers, no. Because they're African American. I mean, what is going on here? You got a president actively trying to divide a nation. For what? Personal gain? To satisfy some chip you have on your shoulder because of what happened to African Americans decades and decades ago? Listen, I ain't ignorant of that. I understand what happened, and it makes me sick. If I was alive back then, I couldn't have taken part in it. It was absolutely wrong. But you know what? The time is to move on now. That's the time. Move on. I went through tough times too, and you know what? I utilized help that was offered, and I got up, and I stood on my own 2 feet. And I found some faith in the Lord and found direction and guidance and healing and support from a good church and from good friends and some help from the government for a little bit of time when I needed it. And I got back on my feet. I don't blame my daddy. I don't blame my mommy. I don't blame my grandparents for all the crap that they put me in. I don't blame all of them. It's time to get up and move on. But there's an element out there that wants to sit and just hold on to this anger and hold on to this fury against white people. And it's unbelievable. It doesn't need to happen. I don't have many people watching these videos, and that's fine, but the few that are watching, spread the word. It's a message of peace. The guy, Robert, that called into the radio show I mentioned a little bit ago, he called in, and I'll tell you, by the time, it was like a 4-minute conversation he had with the host, and by the time that was over, I felt that guy did more for race relations. He did more to promote peace in this country with that phone call than Jackson or Sharpton or Obama or Holder or any of these other guys have ever done. Just the way this guy talked about whites and blacks being equal. I don't understand it. The double standard makes me sick. It makes my head spin. What about Martin Luther King? Have we forgot about the dream? African Americans, listen to his speech. Blacks and whites being together. Everybody can come under God and be treated fairly, not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. That's how I look at everybody. That's how I want to say 95% of America looks at everybody. And like I said, you got your 5% fringe of loonies out there that are still racist, and they're just freaking, they ain't going to be helped anyway. But you got no proof that George Zimmerman was a racist. The FBI did a 15-month investigation on this and came back with nothing. Interviewed 200 people over, 8 years of his life, and not a hint of racism anywhere. You know what they found about George Zimmerman? You know what they found? You can verify this. They found that they set up a fund to help raise money for an African-American family. Yeah, because he was the family of the police chief. Look up that story. That was the Zimmermans that helped out that family. Sounds real racist. And that was way before Trayvon Martin ever came along. Look up the stories and see the proof and listen to the witnesses that talk about how George Zimmerman mentored African-American kids in the school system to help them out. Yeah, that sounds real racist. There is no racism here. I give you, maybe Trayvon thought, let's just say, maybe he thought Zimmerman was going to attack him. Let's just go with that for a minute. It's dark, it's raining, he sees a guy out there, he doesn't know what's up. Maybe he thinks Zimmerman's going to attack him. And so he hides in the bushes, and he lays in wait, and Zimmerman comes down the sidewalk, and Trayvon jumps out there and cocks him in the nose and starts beating the snot out of him. Trayvon didn't know Zimmerman had a gun on him. So he had to use it. But there's not one shred of evidence anywhere that Zimmerman went out and looked for someone black to shoot. And Barack Obama knows this. The 16-month investigation proved that. But Obama still wants to get out there and pull on the heartstrings, and they want to change, stand your ground, which is in like a whole bunch of states, not just Florida. Now they want to take that away because they think it unfairly targets African Americans? What is going on here? Am I like in another zone? You guys with me out there? What is going on here? Listen, I don't know how much we all can do, but you know what? We make it clear that everybody is equal. We make it clear of the facts. Don't get bitter and anger and hatred toward people that disagree with you. I've already had it on these videos, and like I said, you curse at me, you insult me, you do all that, and I'm blocking you. That's it. Delete your comment, and I'm blocking you. That's it. You want to have real honest debate, and I've had a few great people that are on Trayvon Martin's side on this whole thing, and laid out what they think happened. That's fine. You don't agree with me? That's fantastic. That's your right. But let's deal with the facts and what we have in front of us. And now this weekend we're going to have protests, which I think some are going to turn into riots. They're probably going to turn violent in all these different cities across the whole country. Obama's supporting it. We know that the Department of Justice, not long after the Trayvon Martin shooting, sent people down to Sanford to help organize these riots. I mean, we have a president actively trying to create misery and create division among races. He's doing more to hurt racial relations than to help it. And he's a black man. I don't understand this concept. And he's president of the United States. Barack Obama, you're guilty. Eric Holder, you're guilty. Jackson, you're guilty. Sharpton, you're guilty. You guys are setting back race relations when the rest of us are trying to move it forward. I live in the South, right? I live in Florida. Blacks and whites go to school together. Teenagers around here, they don't even, you ask them about racism and they're like, what are you talking about? Where? I don't even see that. What? Where? They don't even know. It's not even in their minds. We've moved so far past it. But Obama and the Democrats are going to set us backwards and cause more division and more trouble and more hate. We got to speak up and not let that happen. Unbelievable. I'm going to see what happens this weekend. Until then, this is the Midnight Runner. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And you can email me, midnightrunner23@yahoo.com if you want to have a comment. off of YouTube. Take care, and God bless.